Hello guys, and welcome to a new Star Division 2 video today by myself, Vulcan, and Attack Power.
Super pumped to be back. Good to see you, my friend. It's been too long.
It has indeed. The duo returns. In this video, we have for you game one of a best of three between two teams, Gonzo and Yamin, and Farad Rommel and Humayun. And the grand final of Badger Jelly's 2v2 tournament. Today they are playing on Owaba, and on our left in the red team we have Grassi Grabber and Geralt of Syria, which is Yaman and Gonzo, playing with Corpo Italiano de Liberazione and Reserve 43rd Army. And then on the Axis side we have Farad Rommel playing Festung Dunkerque and Humayun playing with the 20th Panzer. What do you think of this, Attack Power? And again, great to have you back.
Yeah, super fun to be back, man. It's good to be here. Steel Division 2, amazing. And we're getting new content for this game if you didn't know. So exciting. I mean, Corpo, amazing infantry. You know, that's why you play the division, basically. They're incredible infantry. They're not the most cost efficient, but they are very, very strong all the way around the board. 43rd Reserve, giving the armored fist to this little duo here. Gets a nice mix of different Soviet armor, and then you do get some great high-quality infantry. You just don't get a ton of them. Also note that Grabber's on balanced, and Geralt here is on Maverick income. Interesting for a team game. On the other side, Festung, a very defensive division, a lot of spammy infantry, lots of big explosive guns, and lots of off-map. And then 20th Panzer, probably the most well-balanced division of these four. Basically has everything, always has, one of the OG divisions from way back when, and they're playing on Vanguard and Maverick, so the Fox is always known for their very aggressive game style.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2v2 is really interesting because it can be very similar to 1v1 in that you have like this Vanguard Maverick playstyle, or you'll see teams that really try and focus more on like the balanced playstyle. Myself and Protoss played in this tournament, and unfortunately got knocked out in what was a very, very difficult second group. So yeah, this is the final to that for those of you who are watching on my channel. And yeah, it's great to be casting it with Attack Power. So let's have a quick look at what's going down here on the top side. For the red team, we have a stack count. There's some Maro, Commandosi. Further down, we're going to be seeing a lot of units here. It's going to be some flamethrowers leading the charge from a lot of these Commandosi in half-track, some RDT. We got Maradren, Guestori Para, German 3. There's going to be a Spitfire Recon coming out at the start. On the other side, ME410, so we're going to have to check that engagement out. But following up further down, we've got T-34 and SU-152 moving down there. And on the very bottom side is going to be some Strafniki. Looks like Geralt's going to be covering that with an SU-85 as well. SU-152 on the very bottom side with the Sapari Doxans, Sapari PFSH. On the right side, with Farad, he's actually started with some off-map, going to be following it up with a bunch of medium vehicles there, and the Marder 3s. We got the Jagd Pioneers moving in, flamethrowers charging to the front line in these tractions to try and get some position early on. In the mid, IG-33 backed up by an 88 at the start, and the Boyja Stalin with the Grilla. That's a big commitment to the mid. On the bottom side, looks like Humayun just creating a skeleton defense there to hold the front line forwards.
Yeah, and it's important to note this game is from a couple months back, so it's a few patches back at this point, at least 2 patches. Definitely not the most recent one. So you may see some prices and stuff that don't match up with the recent gameplay. Just something to be aware of.
Yeah, I think it's actually only 1 patch back. The
Is it
patch
1?
took a while to come out with Men of Steel, didn't it? So
well, it's 2. Yeah, I mean it's technically the DLC, and then they released that second patch after the DLC. So
okay.
Yeah, so it's for like 1.5 patches back. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But yes, go ahead.
We've got the SG-43 pushing back these Erzherztruppen in the open. We got some initial engagement from the Commandosi RDT engaging the Festungsgrenadier. The Festungsgrenadier, really nice chunky disheartened squad. Jagdkampf trying to come through the tree line, get their MG-42s on target. See the off-map come down. That's actually hitting pretty well right now onto a rather sizable amount of units, but not getting any necessary direct hits.
Yeah, and we saw Jagdkampf here with their Panzerschreck taking out a half-track, which is pretty cool ways to see. These are really strong units. One of the unique units out of Festung, and like your elite unit. It's essentially a Brandenburger with a Panzerschreck instead of a grenade.
Yeah, and that range can really catch out enemy armor. In the middle here, the RG Guerrilla starting to really break down some of the defensive units. The Alpini Escalante going to be killed off by this large HE ME410, doing a good job of helping scout, and the Ersatztruppen revealing the position of that sniper by just running into fire, good old advance under contact.
Yeah, and that Spitfire that was originally in was not, it was the unarmed one. So there's like the armed one that's really, really good, but that one's just like the 35 point nothing. Beutestalin landing a shot on that Su-152. Oof, I wish my Beutestalins were that accurate.
Yeah, it's always a dice roll with these IS-2s. 35% accuracy on the main gun. It's no veterancy as well, so maximum range. That's gonna be a very, very lucky shot. On the top side, there is potential here for a breakthrough. Yamin could just decide to push on through there. But 2 Jagdkommando now pushing up, supported in the center, and those will provide recon.
Yeah, always really important to get those recon, and I think newer players often underestimate how important having recon around is. You got to know what your opponent's doing.
Now, one thing at the moment I'm a bit wary of is it seems like Gonzo and Yamin are playing actually very conservatively. You're not really seeing them push on the island where they have a big superiority in numbers when they're obviously under a big threat in the center. The amount of units that are clearly on view here from Farad and Humi is quite something. So making sure that they try and find ground elsewhere is very important.
Yeah, I think they need to lean into the strengths of their divisions, right? So like the Italians are phenomenal here in the woods, so they really got us. The Italians need to stick to the woods and dominate. The 20th Panzer can't fight in the woods at all. And Festung really is not good at CQC either, so they should really be able to win any green fight inside of trees.
We got Ju-87 coming in on the bottom side, no AA down here just yet. The 85 actually struggling to aim from the middle. So decent bombing strike, going to be continuing to force those infantry back and kind of hold this position. Currently just the T-34 and the Panzer IV really the ones holding the line there. From all of this infantry they have in position. But what they could really use there is some smoke, so they can get these 15-man submachine gun squads nice and close. Yeah,
and if you have an Su-122 way back here, actually holding off some of these infantry in the center, doing a really nice job. These Jagdkomp just moving across the open here. And this isn't Warno, so things do die when they get shot in the open.
Jagdkomp moving across, yeah. They're starting to make some ground, though. The 85mm was suppressed by the Guerrilla and the IG-18. Sostrup now charging in with those fast vehicles. The Ersatztruppen following up. And Flak 43 actually on the backside to back up the 88 here as well. Looks like off-map is going to be moving up from Farad Rommel. The 164mm does get 3 shots. He's actually placing it on the top side once again. That concentration. He's trying to hold back that for the time being. Actually only holding the line with like a Luftwaffe Jaeger at the moment.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous spot. Yeah, that's a defensive off-map there just to keep this, because Grabber's doing a great job of getting veterancy on these infantry. When these Italian infantry are at 3 stars, they shred. They absolutely rip through everything.
A nice cheeky bomb strike. BF-109 trying to get rid of this 45 so it doesn't have the threat of the side shot onto the Beutestalin. Guerrilla or IG should be fire positioning that ideally. But off-map now coming down, going to be pinning down all of these forces and potentially chipping some of these squads, but not actually doing too much damage. Again, this off-map has been well placed, but it hasn't actually done any significant damage to the push so far. But they have found the extra flag in the middle. It's now 13-11 in favor of Farad and Humi.
Commandosi here picking up a Martyr 3 kill with its Piat. Go Piat, I guess. Doing its thing.
Oh, yeah. Sostrup now in a nice position. Jagdkampf, Zerstürpen managing to catch up in the center here. And I think it's really, really up to Yamin and Gonzo to kind of stem this push that's coming through here as soon as possible and try and make a play on this island with the troops that they have there. On the bottom side, Farad's actually brought in a Jagdpanther.
He's only one.
Yeah, and it can't currently see the Su-152, otherwise it would be firing at it.
Yeah, it will, though. Well, unless these Luftwaffe Jaegers go too far forward, the Su-152 will spot them first. Might kill this 88 off, actually. That would be pretty huge. There it goes. Oh, gets a
track's broken.
Oh.
Okay, well, it wasn't transmission that broken. Was it? The track's broken, I think.
They can
only
still
technically
turn.
on one side, yeah.
Yeah, you can still turn, which is weird, but yeah, you can still turn. The Su-152 has a higher crit rate, right?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Yeah, because it always seems, every time it shoots at stuff, it just seems to get a crit for no matter what's going on. It's always like, okay, that's a crit.
This front line is all over the place right now. On top of the hill in the center, they've managed to grab the flag there, the red side. Blue side's pushed across the open further down, but unfortunately red side can't peek that because of all of the long-range units there. On the bottom side, these Luftwaffe Jaeger managing to break through completely, surrounding the close-range infantry of Gonzo here in cover. Panzer IV F1 having a whale of a time there, trying to stop the 88 from being killed off from cover.
Yeah, the 88 couldn't decide what to shoot at, so it just kept changing targets. I hate when that happens. It's so weird. So yeah, just weird salient there. And now the push here in on the center island, though, getting broken down. These infantry getting caught in a little bubble. These RDD are going to be able to easily clean up these air depth streams. The Skull Street don't have enough, and the Ag Comfort not a CPC squad. So those will be dead soon, and that flag might flip back any moment.
Yeah, the RDD actually get caught, though, by the last Molotov of the Soft Troop, so it hasn't quite taken them out just yet, and they're going to maintain position there, which is okay, because as long as they kind of sit and cover the road, they might be able to do a decent chunk of damage. But the bottom side really being reinforced heavily here by the blue team. Himanyun and Farad pushing in with Stostrup, Pack 40, IG-18, Marder 3, kind of sensing a massive gap here in the front line that they want to try and take advantage of.
Yeah, the tracks broken on that Yag Panther actually really hurt because that could push way further forward and kind of cut both reinforcement roads off. But because of that, they're kind of stuck here in this position for the time being.
Yeah, and it's probably unlikely that they have like Phase A supply,
yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's going to be sat there for a little while. It's also kind of still in a risky position because a supply truck can't really get close to that without being shot by light arms fire. So they basically got to deal with all this infantry in the heavy cover, even though it's not necessarily causing their other units too much problem. The Erd Kemplefet might be able to help out in that regard, but the 88 actually might go down here to the double DP of this complete orcs.
They're getting hit hard. Yeah, I mean, Geralt's using is that Gonzo?
Yes, that is.
Yeah, Gonzo using his infantry actually really aggressively. He could just hide in the woods, but he's decided not to. He keeps popping out to try to probably get that 88, I would think, because that's giving the air cover. Up north, an airstrike from a BF-109 and Ju-87 trying to soften up some of these support weapons like the assault gun and stuff, but all the way up north, Red has pushed all the way through, capturing another flag here and putting Blue on the back foot.
Yeah, still 12-12 across the board, considering how much things are going backwards and forwards. But the push of the red team on top of this hill, as you mentioned, is being broken down. These airstrikes helping massively with that. Double Panzer 3, T-34, Panzer 3 Recon now coming up, supported by these Grens and Jagdkampf, will be more than enough to get through the Sherman and the remaining infantry there, I imagine. T-34 versus T-34 happening on the left side of the mid. Oh, the Resvedka gets the first shot off and wins the day there.
Yeah, and it is important to note we're now in B phase, which means two players have Maverick income going. Farad lost his high Vanguard income, and poor Gonzo slowly catching up with his beautiful balance income.
Yeah, but we see the Opel Blitz now being brought in. It has reached Phase B, so there's that supply coming in to try and fix up the Jagdpanther, and it's going to want to get there as soon as possible because the IS-2 in 1943 is creeping, but Ju-87 looking to take that out. And
I don't see any AA down here, so that could be a freebie kill here from this Ju-87. That'd be huge.
It'd be absolutely massive. You can see that Gonzo has noticed. He's going to unload his 85 mil immediately and hope for the best. Will it be enough? It won't be enough to stop it, but it will stop it from getting the kill, I imagine.
Yeah. Ooh, that was
spread out.
That was that was close.
Very close indeed.
What just Stalin getting hit by what looks like some artillery? Yes, it is under assault from artillery here. There are 2 Obice 75 mils back here, Italian light artillery pieces, taking shots.
Yeah, those artillery pieces are incredibly good. They have a really solid rate of fire and aim time. But the 57 finding the side shots here towards the Boydestalin. Bounces the side shot. That's unfortunate. The AT gun getting forced to move. Flames underneath, forced off by the HE rounds there. And will be moved out of line of sight once again. Young Panther has got its tracks fixed, so it is available to help push on this bottom side. And now the IS-2 1943 is damaged.
Oh yeah,
that Young Panther is a one-shot kill.
Yeah, it's now like a who actually gets the 1 pen first. It should be the Ag Panther. This is the high armor IS. No, it's the low armor IS-2. Excuse me. So it should be a pen pretty easily by the Ag Panther.
Yeah, the Ag Panther, such a glorious beast, and when it has 3 veterancy, should have more than enough accuracy to win the engagement versus the IS-2. Farad's trying to sort of rush up the road here to get the shot on target. Kills the Su-152 with the help of the Stug. So that was nice. 2 shots penned immediately. Stug 3 in a bit of a dodgy spot, but I think he might be purposefully trying to bait the shot out of the IS-2.
Yeah, that's definitely very possible. It happened to all miss anyway. Now the IS-2's on return fire. Another Su-152 in range of the Ag Panther and Stug combo. See if they can pull it off again. 1 hit already. Another crit from that Su-152. Gets an engine stall.
Yeah, the engine stall's not great because I'm pretty sure that means it can't turn at all, but it is still able to get its gun on target of the Su-122 and finds the kill. The rate of fire plus the accuracy there really paying off. Stug 3 taking a shot from an IS-2 going down after receiving a crit of its own. As that's Strupen coming in to back up the mid, and it looks like the island there.
Jag Panther gets the shot off, kills the IS-2, but another IS-2 already in. Up north, the infantry are grinding, but the Italians are coming out strong and holding that. There's a huge blob of T-34 Panzer IIIs here.
This is absolutely slaughter from the Jag Panther. Took out the Su-152 that was supporting the second IS-2 as well. Another IS-2 purchased here from Gonzo, just constantly bringing these in. It looks like Yamin's trying to get the Bowfighter on target. Apologies if the names are confusing, by the way.
It's annoying.
These are 2 exceptional players, Yamin and Gonzo. They decided to change their names for the tournament. So
I yell at people all the time for this.
Well, plenty of AA on the bottom side stops that Bowfighter from getting close. Not the fastest aircraft in the world, but here we go. Some more off-map coming in. This time the 220mm off-map of Humayun's 20th Panzer, looking to soften up the enemy forces before the charge in with the Ersatztruppen, looking to find another flag now on the island. Now this map is actually very, very difficult to find a double tick on. And you can see that throughout the game, because although there's a significant amount of kills on both sides... Oh, Bowfighter.
I gets it. Ooh.
Nice. The first few rockets there were like perfect accuracy. That was nuts.
And the Ag Panther was, of course, quite damaged from the several Su-152 hits and stuff. So it's not like it was pristine, right? And up north now we have another airstrike coming. Ju-87, Bf-109, and another Ju-87 cluster bomber variants coming in for the Sherman. Looks like that Sherman's causing a lot of issues, apparently. It's not going to get through.
Yeah. I think he's just bringing in enough Ju-87s to sort of overwhelm it, right? That Ju-87, if it manages to get the dive, should get the bombs off, but is it going to be accurate enough? I don't think it is.
No, it doesn't get the bombs off, even.
Last minute, yeah. And shot down.
Now, in the town, the Ersatz did push all the way through. It left all these infantry around, but now... massive push here coming from it as we're nearing C phase, and all the Maverick players will be losing their mighty income.
Yeah, this is really going to open up the red team for a comeback here with the balanced deployment type on Yamin's forces. We'll see the ME-410 coming out again, though. This is a significant push on the island. Honestly, if this island push works out, you can really cut off this bridge that allows you to reinforce it. So that could be a permanent flag for the rest of the game. Now on this top side, however, Really nice push through from Yamin. Has managed to secure 13-11 by capturing that flag. Now Yagkamp from Vestin's going to have to try and clean that up. Things on the bottom side actually going pretty bad now that the Jagdpanther's gone down as well.
Yeah, the issue is, you know, I mean, the Flak 105 hasn't a chance of killing this IS. Oh, it gets a pen, gets a hit. Did that not? Oh, because it's a heavy tank. I forgot. Yeah, the Flak 105 does 10 damage, and the IS-2 has 12 health. That's why it didn't die in one shot like most tanks do.
Yeah, the 105, yeah, very unique in that regard. It's one-shots those medium tanks. It's absolutely crazy when you have a high vet and it just mows down Shermans or something. It's crazy to watch. But in the mid, Panzer III's trying to push through. One of them actually gets killed off by the Piat of the leader there. Not enough infantry support really here. More Panzer IVs coming in even. Without that infantry to back them up. More Vestingrens instead coming in onto the island, which is really starting to look like it's going to be locked down now. With the second off-map strike coming in towards that bridge. And if those infantry can get through that heavy cover, they can really deal with that nicely. On the bottom side, Gonzo's infantry still holding the line. This has been absolute heroes here.
Well, now the 105 is getting broken down because the SU-152 can just fire right in front of the 105 over and over again. So that's the issue with this being your only defense at this point, is because there's just so many SU-152s in 43rd Reserve. It's hard to kill them all.
Yeah, brilliant 2,000 meter range HE unit, and in this case being used nice and effectively on this bottom side. They're going to need some tanks to really back that up, but honestly, it looks like Farad and Humayun are really going all in on this island push, and also in the center push. They've actually kind of relinquished the forests on the top side, and yeah, this game is still anyone's to take.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they need to recapture this flag up north, which they just did, bring it back through 12-12. Now they need to find in their flag, because the south is kind of falling apart here, and I don't think they really have any more responses to these IS-2s that are effective anymore.
Yeah, the SU-152s finished off that 105. Double Ju-87 coming in for the cluster strike onto the Sherman 1. The 20mm hasn't been backed up with more AA, so it's likely that one of those will get through. Yep. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Ju-88 was looking for the bomber strike onto the IS-2, but going to get forced off by the 85.
You see a Pack 43 in now. You know, and again, the issue is each one of these can 100% kill these tanks, but the SU-152s, when played well, which they will be, they just kind of shut all that kind of stuff down completely.
Yeah, I think he put it on efficient shots to make sure that it didn't fire unnecessarily, but it ended up using its HE on the Motorazvitka, so it has now revealed itself and will likely be taken care of by the SU-152s. Ideally, what you want to do is have it high enough veterancy so you can get a couple of shots off before it gets revealed. Ju-87 on the boss side there almost got its cluster strike off. I think it was because the AA was focusing the Ju-88.
Yeah, very close, but it's not enough. And there's still a second IS-2. It's now kind of rolling up north, but there, and then here comes another one too. Yeah, I don't think, like, 20th is obviously kind of out of big AT stuff at this point, other than the Pack 43. Yeah, I'm not sure what they do against those, but it is a 13-11 again for them. They got a long way to go though on a 13-11.
Yeah, the biggest problem is income right now. The Vanguard, Maverick, kind of both on their lowest income, whilst, you know, Yamin's still sitting there with the balanced income for the rest of the game, and that's going to be a huge thing that Farad and Humayun have to deal with, and it really looks like, you know, they've got full control over this top side. They've just kind of break down this island push, and then they'll have the resources, I imagine, to try and get back on there.
Yeah, now the Italian infantry are starting to show up on this island, and that's when things will definitely start going really poorly here for the blue side, because their infantry just can't hold up against the Italians in any way.
Well, these Ju-87s always getting so close, but never quite hitting the mark, and the 85 might just shoot that down, or at least maybe a Dushka well, because that's incredibly low health. Spitfire, as you mentioned, does not have guns, so can't chase down the Ju-87 there, but more infantry coming in onto the island. They're really committing to this flag, but the top side is just so open right now, particularly Eddie. going to be moving through to take ground. Although as soon as they unload, it won't be pushing the front line anymore.
Yeah, and also we just saw Boytashalan up against an IS-2 1943. The IS-2 1943 obviously with the advantage due to the higher veterancy and the higher armor on that. So once that gets broken down, and Farad surrendering here, which I assume means Homayun will be after him. There we go.
And there you have it. 22 minutes, 27 seconds. Farad and Humayun do not see a way to win with their income. And if we jump to kills and losses, well, Yamin trading very, very nicely with his Italians. 2,095 kills to 1,310 losses. Very nice indeed.
Yeah, I mean, they out-traded him. They played aggressive. That's what the Foxes do. And, you know, a lot of times they'll trade troops. They'll trade troops for territory. And if you get enough territory, that's okay. But if you don't, then that comes to bite you in the butt eventually. And that's kind of what we saw here.
Yeah, I think the other issue, as I was mentioning throughout the game, was Oaba is a very difficult map to double tick on. And so with their incomes, it was like they were under a lot of pressure to make it work. And the Jagdpanther was starting to make it work on the bottom side. But as soon as that went down, all of those support weapons were so vulnerable to the 43rd SU-152s. Yeah, it was difficult for them to deal with, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe an odd choice of incomes from them, you know, and I know it's kind of like it's their thing, you know, that's their thing to play really aggressively, and I do respect that, but this might not have been the map for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, great match from all players. Excited to see the next one.
Indeed. And of course, got best of 3 here, so Yamin and Gonzo looking to take the second game in order to win. Otherwise, Farad and Humayun maybe bring back reverse sweep. That would be cool. But that's it for now.
We want 3 games, right? So we want them to win. And don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe to both channels. We really appreciate it. Yeah, you know it.
Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.